I could talk about when I went to Bama last year for a lacrosse game and I went missing for 5 hours.
Holy,
Like technically, but I mean, according to my friends, I wasn't actually missing. I was just asleep. But they didn't know that.
oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Yap House Podcast. I really would like to try starting this back up again. I have a list of guests lined up for the stretch, and hopefully we can make some really good content. I hope you guys will enjoy our content, our stories, and our topics we can talk about. If you have any ideas that me and my guests would like to talk about, please let me know. We would love to get on that. I just want to talk real quick about, what's been going on recently with myself. I just finished semester 7 of my time at LSU. I only have one semester left until I graduate, which is absolutely crazy. Considering that I have gone through a lot in my time in terms of, classes and the social life. I'd say I'm in a very good spot. I only have to do 3 classes next semester, and then I graduate, which is incredible. Then I will have all this time in the world to do a second job if I do get one, and it will be very useful. But a semester 7 recap, it was very quiet. I really did not. I tried my best to not interact with a lot of people just because I wanted to focus on all my things. Um, Stuff like that. Focus on my job, focus on, getting all my work done, and just, really learning things about myself independent wise, because I'm going to talk about this again later, but I I only like was outside like one time um the entire semester, and it was a Tuesday night, a karaoke night at the Rev. Only went out one time that entire semester, and I was okay with that because, I had things to do while I was inside on Fridays and Saturdays. I could write things down, do some homework, get homework done early if it's like due on Sunday. Um, Things like that. So at least I was occupied, and at least I could talk to some people, like a couple of my hometown friends, and things like that. We would just like, snap each other back and forth, and sometimes we'll say something, but it's all right. But five classes, got A's in all of them, very smooth, um, and it was a good time. So now that I do want to talk about that I got over semester stopping, I do want to talk about some football. Starting with college football, because I know a lot has been going on recently with the transfer portal, coaching, hirings, and things like that. But what I do want to talk about with college football is the scheduling of it, because I think this scheduling at times is done so poorly, and it's not about, yeah, it's a lot of things, but let's see, signing day, when the transfer portal opens, when a head coach can sign with a team, scheduling, the CFP, the college football playoff games in terms of time zones, and things like that. So I just want to say what I think. And a lot of people will probably agree with this, but let's see. Those days of like signing day, the transfer portal opens. Um, when a head coach can sign with the team. That needs to be the day after the national championship game, because you have all this chaos of Lane Kiffin, and I'll get to Lane Kiffin in a second. I'm very happy he's with us, but I just absolutely hate the way it was all handled. Um, you wouldn't really have scenarios like Lane Kiffin, Alex Golis, John Sumrall, and other things like that. Because why are you accepting another position when you still have so much season left? Like I mean, I understand you probably only have like 1 or 2 games left, but why are you focusing on another team, on another program, when you can win 1 or 2 more games, when you have the opportunity take the field with your players to win 1 or 2 more games. Um, so there's that. It's just really do not like the way this was all handled. But I am very, very happy that Lane Kiffin is with us because, I think this now really sets the tone of what this program can be. Post Brian Kelly, the Brian Kelly era was a disaster towards the end of it. Just very soft play all around, and you can literally see it on the field and the body language of the players and all that. But hopefully, this era of LSU football restores the tradition of what this program can be, competing for true contender for national championships every single year. Because yes, we're spoiled by 2019, but I feel like a lot, and again, a lot of programs have national championship expectations every year. Ohio State, Georgia, Bama. So they're no different from LSU and a bunch of other programs who believe they can win a national championship that year. So I'm excited for the Lane Kiffin era. Unfortunately, I will not be here, which is very, very sad. Um, but yeah, so in terms of the college football playoff scheduling, um, I would have liked to see, that Miami Texas A&M game at night. Um, I would have liked to see, I probably would have liked to see the JMU Oregon game on Friday, and then you have um, those other three games on Saturday, so you can get those better games on a day that everyone will probably watch. Now, I know there's NFL that day, and there's a huge game between the Bears and the Packers um, on Saturday, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. And also, this is just a little thing. I don't know if anybody really cares, but the semifinal games, why are they on separate days? That was never the case. I don't remember, well, I wasn't really a college football fan until like my senior year of high school. But whenever I would watch, the semifinals, they would be on the same day. Like you'd have the Verbo Fiesta Bowl at 4, and then you have the Peach Bowl at 8. They're on, and then they were different, and they were on separate days last year, and they are again this year. Why are we doing that? I do not know. I would really like some answers on like why these things are happening. But nevertheless, let's talk about the playoff and the teams that are in the field. Very excited for these playoffs. I think many teams have a shot to win the national championship. Um, and I know that there's been controversy of these group of 5 teams, um, undeserving of playoff spots, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I kind of agree because I think you do want to get the 12 best teams in the tournament so you can have the best possible tournament. Like Tulane, when they won, they were ranked, as high as like 20 or 19. That obviously wouldn't be enough to make the playoff, and I don't think that's deserving of a playoff. Like I would probably dismiss the automatic conference championship bids now because we're having all these debates of, oh, Tulane and JMU shouldn't be in. They're probably going to get their asses kicked by Ole Miss and Oregon. But we'll see about it this year. And then you'd have like Notre Dame and Vanderbilt or BYU or Texas. That would take up that 12th spot. And then you'd have like a much more interesting tournament. Like say, for example, Notre Dame got the 11th spot, right? They'd go to Ole Miss. That'd be a great game. I think BYU was the second team out. They would be the 12 seed. They would go to they would go to Oregon. Then you had BYU Oregon, which would be a great game as well. Um, but Notre Dame definitely should have been in over Alabama. Um, Alabama did not look good, has not looked good for like 4 to 5 weeks. They struggled against South Carolina, struggled against Auburn, um, obviously got their asses kicked by Georgia, lost to Oklahoma. They didn't even look good against us either. So they've really been playing mediocre football for these past 5 weeks or so. And yes, they've been winning, except that Oklahoma game. They got those games, but they got their butts kicked by Georgia. And that should have been the killing blow for their season. But then you have all these debates of, oh, how playing in the conference championship game shouldn't count and things like that. They should have seen those issues with Bama before, like how they have looked in those games before. You have to base your results. You have to look at results based off of record, strength of schedule, and eye test as well. You have to really look and see how they do on the field to say, is this a playoff team? And Alabama has not looked like a playoff team over this past stretch of football. But anyway, that game of between Bama and Oklahoma is going to be a good one. Um, Rematch of earlier in the season when Oklahoma got them. It's in Norman this time, and I will have my eyes peeled to that game on Friday night. But we'll talk about the playoff in another time. I do want to talk about the NFL because um, I just think it's a better overall product right now than college football. There's just so many things wrong with college football, like scheduling, transfer portal, NIL. NFL has so many unpredictabilities going on. The Chiefs are eliminated. You have up and rising teams like Denver, New England, Jacksonville, Chicago. It's just a better overall product right now and better football to watch than college football right now. And I know there's many people saying that, oh, college football is so much better than the NFL in terms of atmosphere. And I see, and I agree partly with them. But right now, we're talking about this second. Right now, the NFL is better than college football simply because of what's going on with the league, how incredible of the stretch of games we have coming up, and you really don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl because my pick for the Super Bowl previously was the Packers, but they're dealing with a wave of injuries right now, including Michael Parsons. So now my Super Bowl favorite is the Rams right now because I think that team on both sides of the ball can compete better, can compete with any team in the league. But it'll be interesting to see how this stretch goes. What I think could happen is if we take a look at week 16, we have a huge Thursday night game between the Rams and the Seahawks that could basically decide the NFC West. Um, and the winner of that game is probably going to get the number one seed and have a huge advantage because they get that first round bye and home field advantage. I mean, okay, the Rams don't really have that true of a home field advantage. The Seahawks do. So that'd be huge. Um, I was going to say what I think it could come down to is let's look at the AFC North. There's a bunch of teams that still haven't clinched yet, um, and it's week 16. A bunch of teams are going to this weekend, but I'm surprised to see that there are only two teams have clinched a playoff berth this late into the season with 3 weeks left. What I could see happening is let's look at the AFC North for a second. You have the Steelers. You have the Steelers at 8-6, and the Ravens at 7-7. Let's go to the AFC North here. I'll pull up the standings. Pittsburgh's schedule is they have the Lions and the Browns. So let's say I pick the Lions to win that game by a lot. Um, I'm dead serious on that, by the way. I would put the Steelers at 8-7, and then they handle the Browns, which would be 9-7. The Ravens, um, oh boy, they have a tough schedule. They they really have to win both games They play the Patriots at home, and then they have to go to Lambeau. That's going to be that will really define their season. And if they can win both of those games, the Ravens and Steelers game will be for the AFC North and their season, probably. Because the loser of that division, if you don't win that division, you're probably not going to get in the playoffs. Same thing with the NFC South. Um, it's been pretty much a tire fire this past year with many inconsistencies. I know the Buccaneers have been very injured and back, but losing to the Falcons, who had nothing to play for, and the Saints. That's probably the worst stretch of games you can lose by a team this season. Losing to the Saints and the Falcons, two teams that were eliminated way prior. Um, it puts the Buccaneers in a scenario now where they got the Panthers twice. They have the Dolphins in between, and the Panthers have the Seahawks. That Week 18 matchup in Tampa could very well come down to is probably going to come down to the division as well. And whoever doesn't win that game will probably be eliminated from the playoffs. Let's see. We look at the AFC. It pretty much comes down to Houston and Indianapolis. Houston's defense is one of the best in the league. They have the Raiders, Chargers. That's going to be a very close game. And then the Colts at home. The Colts, boy, they started off so hot, and then Daniel Jones got injured, and everything just completely fell apart. That Chiefs game, that Chiefs game was really the turning point in their season because one, two, three, yeah, they've lost 4 straight games, and now they got to rely on old man Philip Rivers. Well, they almost won the Seahawks game, and that game would have saved their season and given them much more of a chance. But they have to win next week against the 49ers. And that's going to be very tough with Rivers at the helm. And then they have the 10-4 Jaguars, and then they got to go to Houston. It could be that Colts Texans game could be for the final wild card spot in the AFC, unless the Texans like win out, something like that. Same thing with the NFC North. Rams are in. Eagles should win the division, so they're going to be in. Tampa's at the 4, but they're in a mix with Carolina. Seahawks are going to be in no matter what, I think, unless like a miraculous collapse. San Francisco's probably going to be in. But here's where it gets interesting: the 7th spot in the NFC North. Let's see. The Bears have the Packers, the 49ers, and the Lions. The Packers are favored by 1.5. So let's say the Packers win that game. The Bears go to 10-5. Then they got to play the 49ers. I'm assuming the 49ers will be favored in that game as well. So the Bears will go to 10-6. Detroit, oh God, my app closed for some reason. Why is it doing this? Detroit has the Steelers, and then they have the Vikings, which will and if they win both of those games, which they easily should, that should put them at 10-6. That game between the Lions and the Bears at Soldier Field could come down to the final NFC wildcard spot as well. There's just so many scenarios of how all of these can play out. And this is why the NFL is so good at this time of the year, because you have some incredible matchups down the stretch that could decide a team's season. So that's why I say the NFL is a better product than college football right now, because it's just the matchups, the games you have, and overall, the scheduling was really good as well. Like, you have all these great matchups now, compared to in the beginning of the season, like for your season, and it just makes for some great football. Okay, that was my discussion of me ranting about football. I guess you know that show Pro Football Talk, and call this like amateur football talk. or something like that. But now here is my conversation with Kalia Brown. We did have a great conversation talking about a lot of things, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very glad I got the semester over with because a lot happened. I mean, well, not too much happened because for me it was basically just a lot of like isolation and stuff like that. Wasn't really was really just trying to focus myself on uh getting everything done. But how was your semester for you? This is semester you're a junior, right?
Yeah, I'm a junior. I took a semester off from LSU, and also kind of
Mm,
the same thing. It was kind of I found myself just the last spring semester. I just was in my room a lot and just kind of isolating myself from people. Um, and it wasn't great for me. And my parents thought it would be better, and it was a good decision to stay. But I will be going back
really?
in January. But yeah.
Yeah. Just glad I got my classes over with. I had this. What was your major again?
So I'm biology major, but I'm switching to psychology.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a mass communication major, and we had this one class where it was called like media ethics and social. No, it was not media ethics. This was what was it called? You know what? I as soon as the final grades posted, I just like removed all my classes. So if I can find what it was called, I'm gonna go to it right now. But there was this one class that I had where my professor, I don't think he realized that there were like guys in the class too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just this, oh, okay. Yeah, and it was just this one class where the topics were just very weird, like girlhood and stuff like that, and other like race and social
Oh gosh.
uh gender identity things and stuff like that. It was weird, but fortunately I got through it. There was this other class I had that was like media ethics and social responsibilities. That was very hard. Um, because you're like getting into a couple of controversial topics that I probably will not be using ever in the real world when I'm a journalist and stuff like that. There was this other class where I had to do in-depth reporting, which was which was a lot harder than I thought it was because a lot of work had to be put into the story, which I actually want to talk about with you in a
Oh,
second. I had a weight training class and yeah, that was basically it. Did you do, do you feel like the workload in terms of classes has gotten easier for you or harder than as you've gone through college?
honestly, it depends on the class and the professor. Some
Yeah.
professors, it really depends. Like, there's no consistency between professors. And the other thing is, like, I do notice, I feel like all of the professors, somehow, all the exams end up, like, at the same time. And it's just, I don't know. It's not always great because, like, sometimes it's like I'll have back to back hard exams, and it's obviously not ideal.
Yeah, and then you'll have like some professors that don't really care that much.
Hmm.
I think they have you have some professors that just kind of teach lessons and they just, get along with their day. And that's honestly fine, but you gotta just make sure you're there with the students. Are you big into the sports at LSU at all?
So I understand sports, but I honestly haven't ever gone to anything besides football games, which I do want to go to this year. Like when I go back for spring semester, like I want to go to a baseball game. I just haven't been able to get to one. It either just hasn't like worked out for my schedule or just like I don't know.
Do you plan on going to like any basketball games and stuff? Because I know those can be
Yeah,
very electric.
yeah, basketball. Like I want to go to at least like everything before I graduate. Like I need to
Hmm.
like not going to those things and then graduating. Like I would miss out on those, but at least experiencing it once.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of graduating, goodness, I only have one semester left, which is
I know
crazy.
that's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, so you mentioned how you've only been going to football games. How excited are you that Lane Kiffin is with us now?
Um, I mean, I'm kind of excited because it just makes me more hopeful for like how our season will end up. Um,
Mm,
I don't really know. Like it could go either way. It depends on who he brings in as well. Like I don't
yeah,
know. I'm not like super. I don't know a ton about like sports and all of that. So
it's
yeah,
okay.
not like enough, but like yeah, I'm kind of
It's
like it's
okay.
more hopeful for what's to come next year.
Yeah, I think over time you'll get into those habits of obviously since the sports are really big here, you'll really start to get to know them more, get to know the teams more, and just like individual players as well.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, I've been a big sports guy since day one of my life. So, um, very passionate about getting to know players and meeting players, and um, looking like listening to their stories, and things like that. By the way, do you think Landry Kiffin had anything to do with this season or no?
I don't know. I
Mm.
really don't know. It's his whole thing, and I keep seeing like all this stuff about him and like the hot yoga, and then like the him and like all the Ole Miss girls. I don't even know what's going on
Mhm.
anymore.
Well, Um, well, we're talking about Landry here, Lane Kiffin's
Landry.
daughter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think honestly, yeah, I think she might have because just like even just like
the
I saw
mind games.
yeah, I saw like a recent post too, like them all at like a big family picture with Wit in it too, like them at her 21st birthday. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this definitely seems like
yeah.
her. At least she had something to do with it, at least. Especially when he
You
was
think so?
between LSU and Florida. It seemed like
Hmm.
for most people thought. Um, it seemed like that she definitely had at least something to do with it. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That topic is definitely debatable. I wish it didn't really affect the team and the play that much, but I honestly do feel like it did because we were 5-0. No, I forget it was, no, we were 4-0 at the time, and then that happened, and then all everything fell apart. So you can make all the debates you want. I think it had a little bit to do with it. Um, do you feel like you're a completely you're like a completely different person from like your first day of your freshman year till now?
Oh, definitely. I think so. 1,000%. Like, just like
In what ways?
finding myself is just from even from like from high school to now. Like, it's just like between like just being on my own somewhere different because you can relate to like we both don't live very close to LSU, so like
Yeah,
going somewhere pretty far and just meeting new people and just kind of finding yourself, learning more about like yourself kind of without your
yeah.
family there. Like I feel like I'm definitely a different person than I was going in.
Do you feel like what are there any like specific things you learned about yourself during that time that you had no clue about?
I think just like kind of like my personality grew, I feel like, because like I've always been a very shy, quiet person.
I
And
can tell.
even yeah, even like this, like I would have never like I would like even now compared to 4 years ago, it's been a complete change. It's still not like I'm still obviously the same person I was, but just kind of growing into myself more.
Mhm. Yeah, I think LSU has taught me a lot about myself too. Things I didn't know about, learning to be more independent, learning how to treat people with respect and all that. I know I I do crash out a lot. I do crash out a lot on people when they don't treat me right and stuff like that. But it's those moments and those experiences I never take for granted because they teach you in those scenarios, all right, how do I act this way next time? Things like that. So I say like every moment, whether it's good or bad, you got to take something out of it because if you don't, you're not going to learn anything. Um, Did you write down any untold college stories from
I wrote a
time?
few in my notes just to keep in mind because I have a
Yeah,
few.
you have
Um,
a few.
yeah, let me see what I
Okay,
wrote.
let's hear the first one. Let's hear the first one you have in mind.
Okay, the first one I wrote down was about how freshman year I split my, you can't see it on here, but I have a scar in my eyebrow now. I split my
Oh
head
my
open
goodness.
in the Mike's bathroom.
Damn. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh God.
it was free drinks Friday. It was second semester freshman year. It was like winter, so it must have been like January, I think, because it was colder.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I was there with my friends. We were sitting at a table. I remember I just kept falling over at that point,
Hmm.
and then I was sitting on a chair, one of the high top chairs, right when you walk into Mike's, those tables in there.
Yeah.
I was
Hmm.
there with my friends, and like the entire chair fell over, and then one of the workers came up, and my friend was like, "Oh, the floor's wet." She just slipped on the floor. The floor's wet, and so I fell over. And
Oh
then
God.
I ended up going into the bathroom with one of my friends to use the restroom, and I like did my thing in the bathroom, and then I don't even know what happened. I just all of a sudden she was using the toilet, and then all of a sudden I was just on the ground. She said she like looked up and I was just falling and I hit my head on the sink in the bathroom
Ooh.
and I just started like profusely bleeding everywhere because it's a head wound.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I got on the Tiger Trails bus. I got like they got me a bunch of paper towels, tissues. Like one of the workers got like a towel or something. I was holding to my head, and my friend got me on. We got on the Tiger Trails bus to get back to the dorm, and since I lived in the Pentagon, I lived on the third floor of the Pentagon, and there
Yeah.
was like I had to go multiple stairs because there were no elevators in that dorm. So we were walking up. She was bringing me back to my room, and she said, "I don't remember this part." She said that I kept falling up the stairs and I was all over the place. It was so bad.
Ah, that
And
must have hurt.
put me in bed. All I know is that I woke up the next morning and I had like a dried crusted towel on my it was like covered in blood on my head and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then
Oh my God.
it kind of formed into like a black eye since it was like kind of on the side, like it was black and blue a little bit for the next week.
Did you have to go to like the health center to get
I
stitches or
didn't. I just let it. It was fine. I let it heal. I don't think it was deep enough to need stitches or anything, but
okay.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh. Wow. That's definitely crazy. That's never happened to me before. I hope that does not happen to me. Oh, and speaking of um, going out to those clubs and bars and stuff like that, I only went out one time um this entire semester, like this entire fall semester. I just went out one time. It was the first it was the first week. It was karaoke Rev Tuesday. That was the only time I like stepped outside my apartment. I told myself the only time I was going to step out of my apartment is on like a Friday or Saturday, is if I'm like on a date. That did not
Mm,
happen. So one, it's because I just felt like I didn't really deserve those nights out for some reason.
mm,
Um, all the turmoil that's happened to me over the years,
yeah.
trauma. Um, cover money. It adds up.
Yeah. It does. It does.
It it adds up. And three, um, frick, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm not finding my wife at a bar,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm not finding my wife there. Like, I need a partner, so find her anywhere else with there. I mean, it's happened to other people. I get it,
Mhm.
but it's just a personal thing.
No, I get that too, and like even just like especially at LSU, um, it's just the culture there. It's just not the place, especially like at LSU at a bar. That's like you're not gonna find your person there. That's in my
Mhm.
opinion too. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
it's happen as possible, but like I just don't see it that way because it's like the hookup culture at LSU is just huge, and that's another thing I had written down. Just like it's it's just it's society's just changed so much from what it used to be. Like now,
Yeah.
like what happened to like meeting someone and actually wanting to like get to know them? Like most like a lot of people I talk to at LSU, they just literally just they're talking to you for one reason and one reason only, and it's like it's just I'm just sick of it.
That you bring up another great point because the only way now that I want to get to know somebody is not in a loud place. If I want to talk some, well, like if I want to like say I just met you, right? And I want to get to know you, right? The house is not a good place to do that.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah,
The house is my favorite bar. I've had a lot of great nights there, but those days are far from gone. I mean, those days are far gone, or whatever that saying is. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, if I'm gonna get to know somebody, it can't be in a loud place.
yeah,
Gotta be quiet, barely any people around us. Heck, even a loud restaurant would be okay.
yeah,
Like, suppose you had, I don't know, suppose Sushi Masa was crowded as hell, and I was on a date, get to know her. If it's loud and crowded, that's fine with me because we're surrounded by like a bunch of strangers. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you like see somebody you know there,
hmm,
we're surrounded by a bunch of strangers. They're not gonna bother us.
yeah,
There, I mean, at like at the house, JL's, Mike's, you see like a lot of people you know, and they're probably gonna come up to you. And I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. They're very unpredictable. So that's my claim.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I definitely agree with that. Like I feel like just as far as and even like meeting someone at the bar, it's like the the chances are with like underage drinking and everything, like most of the time, the person you're meeting in well for me, it's like you probably had a little bit to drink or like a lot. Like it's like you're not always like you're not really. It's different. It's completely different from like going to the park with someone or like going to get dinner or something like that. Like it's completely different.
which is what I've wanted to do this entire semester, and it did not happen. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. I don't know what, but something's gotta give. But
Hmm.
go on.
No, but even like just even in this past year, like this past summer and over this break, I've been kind of talking with someone who goes to a different school. Like we
Yeah,
decided that we weren't gonna like officially be anything just because we don't want to like immediately start something and then do long distance. Like there's really no point in doing that.
yeah.
Um, but it's just so refreshing compared to LSU. Like it's I'm so used to LSU that it's so refreshing. Like he'll open the door for me. Like I wouldn't touch the car door like once. He'll open the door. Like we go to. We're always like going to dinner, doing something. Like he cooked dinner for me, and I was like, oh, this is just. It's just so refreshing compared to what I'm used to experiencing.
Yeah.
And like I didn't think that
Yeah.
that would be possible for me to get because I'm so used to experiencing like WYD like come over type of thing, and I'm like I'm just sick of it. Like I don't know.
hmm I think for me, like I know I will do everything for her, but I haven't gotten a chance to show it yet. Like I'm telling you, like if I tell you that I will do everything for you, that's great, right? You obviously said that's great, but you have to show it. You can't just I, I say this all the time to people. You can't just say something and tell people that you're going to do something. You have to show me. You have to
Yeah.
show me. Like if you if you let's see, if you have a text like this, like someone said something to this, sometimes I probably won't believe it unless you have like photo evidence of that text. You know what I mean? Because this is the standard, we have to live up to now. A lot of people are like, a lot of people aren't going to believe everything totally, and this is actually very like similar situation to like the Sharon Moore situation. Have you heard things about that? Sharon Moore getting fired and he was arrested and all that.
No, I haven't.
hmm Yeah, Sharon Moore um was the head coach at the University of Michigan football.
Oh, no, I did hear
He,
about that. I just didn't know his name.
yeah, yeah, and he was fired, because he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff worker, and he was arrested too. See, in those scenarios, you actually had evidence that this happened.
Hmm.
And then going back to, I know this has nothing to do with, just like simple text and stuff like that, but I believe you still have to provide proof in
Yeah.
certain scenarios. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay, let's let's kind of stay on that topic real quick. So yeah, friendships, coming and going. Like, how many situations have you had like friendships come and go, and what did you kind of do to like
Hmm.
handle it when
Yeah.
this one person wouldn't be with you anymore?
Yeah. So I actually had a kind of like weird experience, which I mean, not weird because I feel like a lot of people kind of experience this, especially I feel like there's a lot of kind of like surface level friendships, especially in
Yeah.
LSU, and especially I've experienced. Like I definitely had know a lot of people, but it's a lot of surface level ones, and then I have like a few that are kind of more deeper friendships. But when I first came for my freshman year, I had my roommate and then these two girls that were gonna be suite mates, but then we were in the Pentagon, so we were just next door.
Yeah.
Um, but there was this whole thing where I kind of it got a few things happen. Like so, the first thing was that we were going. It was like the first frat party I've ever been to. We were going to this frat party, and we are all like dressed up, and then we start walking up, and they're like, "Oh, we're overdressed. We don't want to go." Um, I was like, I
Wait,
still,
overdressed?
yeah. They're like, "Oh, we do like the theme, like we're overdressed. Like nobody else is going this hard." Kind of thing. Like they thought we were doing too much.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. What was
Yeah,
the theme?
it was like rave themed. I don't know. We were wearing like some crazy. It wasn't. We weren't
Oh,
really wearing that bad of outfits, especially compared to some of the other people I saw there. But
yeah.
I was like, I still want to go. Like it's fine. Like why do you care? Like it doesn't really matter if what you're wearing. Like why do you care what people think? And they ended up leaving, and I'm like, I'm still going. But they just let me go. Like I was all alone, so then I ended up walking up to these two girls and I was like, "Hey, my friends just ditched me. Can I go in with you?" They were like, "Oh, of course." So I kind of was hanging out with them. I didn't really know them, but it was just this whole thing. And then it was kind of after that, I kind of noticed that they would go do things without me. Like they were always going to dining hall and they never invite me for the next few days. And I kind of said something. I said, kind of reached out to our group chat. I was like, "Hey, like I don't know if it's just me or if I'm like imagining things, but am I being like, I just feel like a little bit excluded? Like, I don't know." I just kind of was saying how I feel, like what I was noticing. And they kind of attacked me for it and they were like, "No, like, why are you acting so childish? Like,
Oh God.
you don't
Oh.
have to do everything together." And I was like, "Oh my God." So that was kind of like the end of that kind of friendship. And then I made like my new friends who I'm still friends with now, and like they're great.
Hmm.
But besides that one kind of falling out, I didn't really have any other experiences like that. Everything else has been pretty good, but it's just like, yeah, I have a few close friends, and then it's a lot of like just surface level friendships I've noticed.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. Um, a lot of people have come and go for me, especially since. Do you remember that? Do you remember that one video? It was like day one of frat rush for me that went viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sparked a lot of friendships for me, but those
Mhm.
friendships have obviously come and gone too. I've tried my best to keep some of them, and maybe I'll reconnect with some of them soon. But it's hard when, a lot of strangers originally are coming up to you and then kind of have to keep track of who you meet, which is never easy.
Mhm.
Um, but now I'm at a point in my life where if, you do something to me, like for example, if I ask you a question and you don't answer, like you're not even my friend anymore.
Mhm.
That is the standard that we have to have now because there shouldn't be forgiveness for not answering a simple question. I think that's just lazy. And then a situation happened today where, well, okay, I'll admit a lot of these situations have happened with women. And that's how torturous my life has been with women, but it's okay. Uh, I still have a lot of time. Um, asked her a question, um, and she unadded me on Snapchat. Type, yeah, yeah, unadded me on Snapchat. Um, I know that sounds very stupid, but
No,
it's
but I
whatever.
understand that too. Like, I honestly, I can understand that too. Like, I feel like even in some of my friendships, I feel like I'm just there, and it's like I'm just kind of not anyone's first choice ever. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but after she unadded me, I unfollowed her on Instagram and TikTok.
Hmm.
That was my decision. Because you do that, we're done. And in order to fix, you know, a relationship like that, she has to come to me. I'm not coming up to her anymore. She has to come to me. Another situation where, um, I had feelings for this woman about for over 3 years, over 3 years actually. Um, she she got a boyfriend over the summer, and it I don't remember if it was over the summer or like beginning of the semester, but it just felt like one of the worst betrayals ever because I was never given a chance. And red flags did show, like how she, wouldn't show her face during like FaceTime calls, things like that. Um, but yeah, hopefully I continue to meet people who don't do that.
Oh, so my freshman year, I had a trap phone for a while, a $30 phone that I bought because my phone
Mm,
was so broken that I couldn't use it at all. So I had to use this $30 phone that I got from Walmart, and it only worked on Wi-Fi. So I would connect to, if I didn't have Wi-Fi, I would connect to one of my friend's hotspots, and
wow.
it was, I really only use it because I still just, for like text messages, I use my computer. But for everything else, like if I was going somewhere, like I'm not going to bring my whole computer with me.
Yeah.
And so I would use it for like just to communicate to my friends and stuff, like with Snapchat. And then I think I had like TikTok and Instagram on it just so I could use it for that because I didn't have like a phone. And it was just it was it was the quality was so bad on it. It was like I just bought the cheapest one I could find at Walmart, and I had it for like 3 weeks until my parents were able to send me one of their old phones because they had, like, my phone was going to be switched over to one of their old phones, but we
Yeah.
had but they hadn't been able to find them before I had gone back after winter break. So
Hmm.
my phone ended up, it was like tweaking out, and it would like start calling people and just like I had no control over it. It was just doing whatever it wanted. And then
Yeah.
it was just not working at all. But what I did, I tried to break it more so my parents would send me the video. So I made it so bad. It was like there's no words for how bad it is. I think I have a picture of what my broken phone looked like. Uh,
Wow.
1 second, I'll find it. But so it was, I had this trap phone, and then I was going to, my friend was dating this one guy in Theta Chi, I think. And I knew a bunch of, like, I was friends with a bunch of people in Theta Chi that I had met at the beginning of my freshman year.
Yeah.
So my friend and her boyfriend were at the bar, and I was telling her, I was like, you need to find me a date. I want to go. Like, that sounds fun. I want to go. So we found me a date, and I did not, like, I didn't meet my date until the day we were leaving. Like,
Oh.
so again, like, and I have the trap phone at this point. So I'm like, it was so funny because I like
Hmm.
just in the car. I only have this trap phone that like doesn't work, and then I'm literally met, and the person driving and his girlfriend, I hadn't met them either until I got in the car with them. So we
Yeah.
go to Dallas, and I have all like the pictures I have, they're on my trap phone, and they're like, it was so bad. So
Oh boy.
this is my broken phone, what it looked like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then just the quality of pictures on the trap phone were so, it was so bad. But it's
Yeah.
just, and then I finally got my new phone. I didn't have to use the trap phone
Nice,
anymore.
nice. Nice. How was that formal? Were you at least like safe and you could manage the trap phone well?
I mean, yeah. I didn't know him beforehand, and I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I ended up dating him last fall, but that was like the worst
Oh,
decision I could have ever made.
oh
'Cause
no.
I just, I don't even know why I did it. Like,
Hmm.
he didn't, just one, didn't know how to like be in a relationship at all. Like, I was doing everything in the relationship, and I didn't need that on top of like school and everything else. So, like, I just didn't
Yeah.
need that. And yeah, it just was not a great decision. But the formal itself was really fun,
Hmm.
because like there was like four other of my friends that were there, and I was friends with a bunch of the guys. I had met them at the beginning of my freshman year. So it was just really fun because I already knew like a lot of people.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't know how to handle a relationship either since I've never been in one myself. But I think I'd be, pretty good the first time considering like how I've seen others handle it on like social media and others. Now, obviously don't want to compare myself, take a different approach to
Hmm.
whatever, but at the same time just do everything I can, and things like that.
I could talk about when I went to Bama last year for a lacrosse game and I went missing for 5 hours.
Holy shit.
Like, technically, but I mean, according to my friends, I wasn't actually missing. I was just asleep. But they didn't know it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you went to Bama for a lacrosse game?
Yeah. So I'm on the club lacrosse team, and we had kind of like a tournament almost. We played a few games, but we had to go drive to Bama. And it was actually, I had grub for my sorority the night before, and then I had to wake up and be at the UREC because we carpool. We get one bus for the furthest game, which we had already used. So we carpool, and I was driving. I was one of the people that had to drive since I had a car. So
Boy,
I was driving, so I had to be at the UREC at 5 to have everyone in my car and then drive to Bama. And this is the morning after I had my
grub.
grub. So I
That's
somehow made it.
torture.
I was there, like I was ready to go. I was driving the night before, like that's a whole nother story. But I drove. I think it was like 5 or 6 hours. I think I forget what exactly it was, but wasn't
Yeah.
that bad. So we get there, we have our games, and then we go back, stayed in our hotel. We were kind of like um, all just hanging out for a while. We went to my friend and I hung out in our room because they kind of separated us by like rooms, and I usually end up with my one friend because she's like kind of like my best friend at LSU, and we both play lacrosse, so they always put us together because we're always together anyway. So I'm with
Yeah.
her in our room, and then a lot of people are at there's like a Mexican restaurant across the road, and it's apparently National Margarita Day. So they're all there
Mm.
and they have like these huge margaritas. So we go over, get some food and the margarita. We go over there.
Yeah.
They've been there for a while. So they're some of them had like they're 32-ounce margaritas. They're huge. And they've
Oh
some of them
boy.
two of those already. So it's like okay.
Oh
And
God.
the owner was there and he was like he spoke Spanish, he had a thick accent, and they were trying to like because he was wearing a Bama shirt, they were like talking about oh like you should come to Baton Rouge, kind of like they were trying joking with him. It was funny. So yeah, then me and my friend come over there, and we're there. I have like some of a margarita, and then we go back because we were gonna originally go out to the bars. One of my teammates, her sister, goes to Bama, so we were gonna meet up with her.
Yeah.
Um, and go out to the bars. I've never been to Bama before this, so it was interesting. So we end up getting ready. We're all in one room, like getting ready to go, like kind of organizing who's going and what. Ubered to I think Innisfree. It's one of the bars at Bama. Um, and it was cool. Like it was packed. I think it kind of honestly had similar vibe to Fred's. Um,
Mm.
I don't know what Bama's like big bar is, like kind of like Fred's equivalent, but that might have been it. I'm not sure though. So we go
Yeah.
there. We're there for a little bit. It's fun, and a few of the girls, I'm like, oh, I don't know where they went, but I hear Boozy playing over the music, like on speakers. So I was like, oh, okay. So we go over to the DJ stand, and sure,
Hey.
that's where they are. They're requesting songs. So I was like, okay. It was easy enough to find them. And then we end up walking down the road to there's another stretch of bars. So we go into one of those. Um, and this guy comes up to us and he's like he keeps handing me his card, like, oh, buy a drink. I'm like, I have one, I'm okay, like I don't need another one right now, but I'll find you when I need one, because sure, I'll if you're paying, sure, why not. But
Okay.
he's like definitely really drunk, and he's like keeps handing me the
Oh.
card. The bartender even like I've like finished my drink, I go up to the bar and with him, and he tries to order a drink for himself. The bartender says, "No, you can't have any more." Um, and
Okay.
then I don't know. We end up talking to him and his friends, um, and then we my I don't know what exactly happened, but we had like this big group of girls. I think there were like 9 of us that had gone out, and we had this text chain. So we were all on the text chain of the girls that went out, and we are like to keep track of
Yeah.
each other. So I end up with my president, who she graduated last year. She was a senior. So I end up with
Mhm.
just her and this friend group from Bama, and where we go back to this apartment and we're just hanging out, and I have a beer in one hand and a glass of Grey Goose on the rocks in the other hand, and then I don't know, we're just
Wow.
hanging out there, and then I like it's like probably 3 a.m. at this point, so I go back with um one of the guys to his apartment, and I literally just go there and go to bed. And then I wake up and my phone is blowing up, like on the text chain, like everyone's like, where's Kalia? Where's Kalia? And I'm like, I'm alive. Because they were like, a
Oh
shit.
boy.
And like my friend immediately calls me and she starts like cursing me out. Like she's so mad. But she's not like mad at me. She was just really worried. So she was like swearing at me, and I was like, oh my god. Cause I felt bad because she didn't know where I was. She got
Damn.
the location, so she knew I was like in an apartment and not like dead in a ditch. But yeah,
Okay.
so I was like, because I was asleep, I was fine, but I woke up and the other girl who I was with, our president, she woke up on the apartment I was at before. She woke up on the couch and she was like, "Oh, I woke up on the couch and I didn't know where I was." So I go. They have like since they had my location, there were two cars of people. Um, Not everyone came, but like a few people came, and there were two cars. One of the cars was one of my teammates, who was also my sorority sister. Her parents were came to the game, so they were
Yeah.
they drove over because she had told them what happened, that they were looking for me. And then the other car was one of my teammates with some more of my teammates. And I leave the apartment and there's like two cars waiting for me. So I go with the
Mm.
parents back to the hotel, and because they were trying to leave, like they checked out of the hotel, we were trying to like go back to Baton Rouge. And then I think I didn't drive my car, someone else drove my car, and I just slept the entire way back.
Wow.
And then yeah, so then we did like a kind of end of the year thing for the team. So we kind of get together, have
Mhm.
dinner, um, and then they do like kind of superlatives, and they're kind of like a joke. So um, I got the
Oh
Miss
God.
Award, and yeah,
Wow.
my friend got
That's
like
funny.
most likely to stalk her ex on Visco, and they're just like funny like that. But yeah, I got the missing person award after that. So
Oh boy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wow. Great story. Um, thank you for that.
Mhm.
I want to talk about something else now. So, I did a story this semester on the overwhelming amount of freshmen
Mm.
this semester. What are your opinions about that, and what have you seen in terms of big crowds of people? Because it certainly feels like, particularly this semester, scenes of students have been like overflowing everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like honestly, I haven't been able to experience that much of it just because I haven't been there this semester, but I have seen a little bit of it, even like just seeing them putting in the new dorm. Like I didn't know that they had already had roped it off till like last time I went to visit for Halloween, and I saw that they had already roped off like that parking lot is gone now. Like even just that
Yeah,
already doing stuff to like add more freshmen. Like yes, we are a big school and a big campus, but we don't have the room for that many more people. And
yeah,
if they want to add more people, yeah, sure, but they need to accommodate and add like well, not just adding the new doors, need to add more parking since they're taking away that parking, as well as
yeah,
just with classes and stuff like getting the classes will fill up so much faster with this many more people, and maybe not for people that are like past those other classes, but like for even for those freshmen, it's going to be make it that much harder for them to get into the classes that they need to take to graduate.
yeah,
And it's just
yeah,
like they need to be more like accommodating if to that many more people.
yeah. Yeah, you make great points. Literally the points that everybody else has said. You're gonna add more students, you gotta accommodate with parking, more professors and more classes as well. Maybe more online courses if students cannot take all these courses.
Mm.
I can't be totally biased towards this because I literally did a report, like an investigative report on this. But many students have complained about there being too many people, and it's taking up the housing. Parking and the traffic is even worse this year.
Yeah.
Um, I went. Did you go to the Florida game this past year?
No.
Yeah, I did, and they let too many students in the student section.
Oh.
So you had students that were like sitting on the steps of
Oh.
that walkway to get to their section. You had students that were forced to like stand on that like little walkway. So like this little walkway, and then you have like sections right here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's been bad. Um, and hopefully, like the university sees these issues that have happened and
Yeah.
fixes it because you just don't want it to get worse.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
You
know
know,
that in
if it gets worse, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I know that in part it's due to just the whole government funding changes that was happening, I believe. And that's why they're like admitting more students because they need to make up for that funding
Yeah,
and get the money from
yeah,
them. But it's just like it's like some like yeah, like they need to like accommodate more people. And then the same thing with like also for the games, like they can't fit that many people, and it's hard for the students that are upperclassmen, a lot of people this year that didn't get tickets, and that's
yeah.
like they already like they're missing out on that, and that's like one of, in my opinion, one of the greatest parts of an SEC school is being able to have those experiences,
Yep.
but they're not able to because of space.
Yeah. Um, University got to fix these. Just like keep up its reputation. You know, one of my friends told me that. Keep up its reputation. Speaking of that, I have a question to ask you. You know how you see like on social media and Instagram, like all these college rankings, stuff like that of like best party schools and stuff like that. Do
Yeah,
you think those rankings are a scam or actually useful?
I don't think they're accurate. Everyone has a different ranking, what I've seen, like every like this person one account will have this one ranking and then one will have a different one. It's all like there's bias, there's different opinions going into it. Like I don't think they're accurate at all. Like I
So a
can feel
scam.
like yeah, definitely. Like I don't think there's
Yeah,
really
I would agree.
a way to test that without having some sort of bias at least.
I think you can't you can't make that list unless you actually experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like if I went to 20 different universities,
Mm.
went to a big rave, things like that, then I'd have an understanding of like where to rank this school in terms of where the party school and stuff like that. But there's really no way to determine that. Do you use Spotify or Apple Music?
I use Spotify.
What was your Spotify Wrapped? If you can like, if you don't remember, you can pull it up. But
Yeah, I
your
think
top five artists?
yeah. Um, I felt like mine was so I listened to like a lot of like everything, but I
Mhm.
think just from like the gym and stuff, I guess, like I think let's see where my top five were. I believe my top artist was Key Glock.
Keep
um,
Walk. Okay,
yeah, so it's
that's a
like
pull right there.
yeah. And then I know my second one was Young Boy. Oh, let's see. I don't see if I can
That's
find.
funny.
Yeah, Keylock, Youngboy, Future, Drake, and 21
Mm.
Savage were mine.
Yeah. That bottom three. That
Yeah.
bottom three is good right there. I listen to them a lot.
hmm Yeah,
Yeah.
and they used to be
My
actually
top five. Oh,
ago.
go ahead.
2 years ago, I think 21 was at the top. It's just like
Mm.
I kind of what I do is I like hyperfixate on a song and then I just listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. This may surprise you a little bit. I'm gonna go through five to one here.
Mhm.
So, top number five is 88 Glam. 88, like the number eight, 88 Glam. GLAM. It's this duo. Not one person, it's a duo. And they are so good. They have so much chemistry together. And if you have not gotten a chance to listen to them, I'm telling you, this is the best rap duo in the game that nobody knows about.
Hmm. I haven't heard of them. I have to
I
check.
will I will send you I'll send you their profile of all their music. You gotta listen to it. You gotta
Yeah.
listen to just some tracks. They're great. Top four, number four is Lil Baby. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Number three is Travis Scott.
hmm
Number two is my celebrity crush. Guess who it is?
I saw your story when you posted your
Oh,
rap.
you did. You did. So number two is Tate McRae.
hmm
and number one is The Weeknd. And it's got to be from, listening to all his songs like before the tour and things
Mhm.
like that, listening to it after. That tour was the best concert I've ever been to in my life. Like
I know.
seriously.
I think my friend actually went to when he was in New Orleans. She and her sister and her mom went, and I don't know. I haven't been to like a big concert like that. I
I don't
think.
think the tour was in New Orleans. It
Oh,
was in
then I feel like
Houston.
it's someone else actually, but she definitely went. Maybe it wasn't New Orleans, but maybe she was back home in Maryland. I don't know, but I think
Yeah.
she did go to that. She loves the weekend. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Do you have anything else to say before we sign off here?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. This is a cool experience, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. You did really good.
Thanks.
Like for your first time, like doing a podcast episode, you did really well. All right, guys, that is going to do it for episode 18 of the Yap House Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great day.